Hello, welcome to the YouTube channel named as Cat to I am by Manoj Mahajan. Not just an educator, but a mentor. So today's session is about Speed Maths 4. Of course, you're going to learn the faster method. And the objective of today's session is to learn the multiplication tricks and where you're going to approximate your answer so that you can save time in the exam hall. And remember, this multiplication trick would be helpful, especially in the DI part, which you can expect in CAT, NMAT, SNAP, and the other entrance exam. So just make sure that you learn it effectively and apply also. So let's see what are the concepts behind the multiplication trick doing approximately. So these are the first two problems on the slide over here. So what we are going to first understand the basic out here, which I'm using. So students definitely are going to find difficulty in multiplying these two numbers because it is in points also. So we have to look the nearest also in the exam hall. So we'll see how we can do that. So just remember a few basics before I move on to teach you this trick shortcut. Let me pick up any number. Let's say 1313 is a number. Any number I can pick up. So do you remember that 100% of any number would be the number itself? So this is something which we don't have to write while solving. This should be very much visible to you while solving the problems on the calculation part. What would be 10%? Can we shift one decimal point? So again, we don't have to write. We have to just remember that 10% would be nothing but just shifting the one decimal point. Now, when you look at 1%, it would be what? 13.13. When you go further, 0.1%, it would be nothing but 1.313. So these are the four figures which we can always calculate easily for any number. And now if I look over here with the help of these percentage figures, we can look forward for certain percentage figures, which I'm going to apply in the class today also, the percentage trick in order to get the nearest value. So remember a few things over here. If I want to find out, let's say 5%. In that case, what is 5%? It is nothing but whatever the value of 10% divided by 2. That's what I can look forward. Let's say if I want to find out 20% in a problem, so I can calculate 1 by 5 also, or maybe I can do 10 into 2, which will also be 20%. But the easier fraction would be 1 by 5, which I can look forward to calculate of the number to get 20%. Like 25%. It's easier to calculate 1 by 4. So we can figure out 25% by looking at 10 into 2 plus 5. But 1/4 if I calculate would have been damn easy. Similarly, if I go further, 50% if I wanted to calculate in a problem, I would look forward to calculate 1 by 2. 75% if I want to calculate, I would look forward 3 by 4. I can definitely use these numbers also like 50%, 10 into 5 I can do. 75% what I can do, 50 plus 25 I can break. So already told you 50% how you can figure out 10 into 5. 25 would be nothing but 10 into 2 plus 5. But why to look at all this stuff? Or maybe looking at like this, 10 into 7 is 70%. And then adding 5 to it, that would make 75. But isn't it easier that if I straight away calculate 3 by 4? So remember these certain percentage figures and fractions also, which we are going to apply in the class today, right? Another fraction which I want you to remember is 33.33%, which would be nothing but 1/3. Or if I look 66.66%, which would be nothing but 2/3. So these are some of the fraction. If I look over here, you should remember what is the percentage equivalent also, so that we can apply in the trick. So let's see now the superb trick which I'm going to apply using the basic which I have taught you as of now. So we'll move to the first problem out here, which is 72.2 multiplied with 78.25. And we have to get the nearest. So remember that my unit digit trick may not work because it is not asking you to calculate the exact value. We have to figure out the nearest value. So let's look at the trick. What I'm trying to say, a lot of people just multiply these two and they try to mark the answer. So need not to get the right answer over here because the number is actually not 72 into 78, but it is 72.2 multiplied with 78.25. So I'll tell you what part can be left out when you're looking for nearest. Just multiplying 72 into 78 may not give you the right answer. And if you remember the basics, what I have taught you in the previous speed maths class, I can look forward to apply a shortcut also over here to multiply these two numbers. Isn't it the specific case? Sum of the unit digit is what? 10. 8 into 2. 16 can I write? 7 into 8. The next number, 56. So if I look 5616, so this choice is very close to 5616, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to pick up the option C. It could be wrong also. So we have to look at the further calculation and let's see what we could look in the problem. So let me tell you the first problem out here, how I'm looking at. Then the other problems, I'm not going to explain that stuff. You would be able to easily understand what I'm doing. See, we are doing basically like this 72 plus 0.2, doing it for the first time. So I'm doing it like this. Correct? This is what we have to multiply. So 72 into 78, there are so many ways to multiply this. Even the base method could have been thought of, right? Even I told you the trick out here. So this can be multiplied easily by most of you if you have even followed my all the speed maths videos. Now, next step would be 0.2 multiplied with 78, 0.25 multiplied with 72, and the last part would be this. So when we are looking at the nearest, so if the options are not that too close, we can look forward to eliminate this part. So there is no need to look forward to use this part if the options are not that too close. What I mean is they are far apart, like over here they are far apart. And this is 5644, 5650, 5616. So they are far apart actually right now. So we can ignore this part always if the options are not that too close. So we are going to look at this stuff over here. So 72 into 78 is damn easy that you can look forward to calculate like this. 5616 already done. Now just look at points we are going to avoid and let's see how. Do you remember that 10% if I want to convert into a fraction, if I look over here, so 10 by 100 if I do, dividing by 100 gives me what? 0.1. So can I understand that 0.1 if I look in percentage would be 10%. So I can do the reverse also. 0.1 if I multiply with 100, I would get 10%. So a percentage into a fraction means dividing by 100. A number, if I want to convert into percentage, you can multiply with 100. So what we can look forward is, remember, 0.2 we have. So better it would be rather than looking at, see, we're not going to multiply like this in the next problems. So what we are going to look at, 72 into 78, of course, we have to calculate. 0.2, I'm going to look at 20%. 20% is what? 1 by 5. So what I'm going to look at 5616, correct? So let me come back to this problem, what we had. So this 0.2 is nothing but 20%, which is we have to calculate 1/5 of this number 78, right? So approximately if I do, if it would have been 80, 80 divided by 5 would have been 16. So this would be closer to 16. Can I say that? And if I come to the decimal part over here, 0.25, that is nothing but 25%. So the decimal part, I'm looking completely in percentage and the things would be very easy for you. So this would be new for a lot of students. Once you get used to it, you would surely appreciate this method. So make sure that you apply this in the problems which I'm going to share with you as of now in the class itself. So if you look over here, 25%, can I calculate a what? 72, 1/4. What is that? 18. So if I calculate this 5616 and if I look forward to add this part, what do I get? 18 plus 16 is what? 34. So this value would be nothing but around 5650. So which is the best possible answer nearest to it? That is option B. So we are not going to look at the point in the upcoming problems, and I'm not going to open like this. And you already know that the two decimal part which I'm multiplying, I'm going to ignore that because I have to calculate nearest and the options are not that close. I can easily work without the calculation of that part. So I hope this is clear so far. So we'll look at the next problem and you will now find out the method to be really, really good because we are not going to write as what we have done in the first question. This I did because I wanted you to understand what I'm actually looking at doing. So let's see what is the method which we have learned and apply out here. Okay, so what we are going to do, 23 into 46. That is one thing which we are going to look at. And look, interestingly, can you look at 23 into 23 into 2? So I can use my square. So I'll come up with squares videos also. But I'm sure that I have been asking students to remember squares till 30. So what is 23 square? 529 into 2. If I do, that is nothing but 1058. So if you do not remember how to express this 46 as 23 into 2, you can multiply 23 into 46 also with the help of the general method of multiplication, which I have covered in the speed maths 2 also. What will be my next step? I want nearest, right? So this is around 75%. 75% of what? 46, which means 3 by 4 of 46 I need to calculate. So let's calculate approximately. This would be somewhere around 11 point, or exact would be what, 11.5 into 3. If I do, that would be around what, 34. I'm not calculating exactly 11 to 3. I did 33 and that would have been 1.5, but let's calculate just 34 because approximate we have to get the answer. Okay, now this was 0.48. So can I say around 50%? 50% of what? 23. So if I calculate half of 23, it would have been 11.5. So I don't have to calculate exact 50. I'm just adding around 11. Let's see what is the number coming out. So 8, 4 and 1 is what? 3. 1 carry forward. 5 plus 1, 6. And over here 4. So 0, 1, 1, 0, 3. So my answer should be quite close to 1103, which is the option number C out here. So look, we have not expanded anything over here. We are just using the percentage concept and multiplying these numbers. So let's quickly multiply in the remaining problems out here, right? So if you come to the next problem, the first step I can look forward. Yes, this you should do completely. 97 into 2 is how much? 194. Next, if I look over here, this is 0.98. So around 100% if I look over here of what? 2. So let me add 2 to this. Quite close to it, it would be. And what is 0.1? That is nothing but 10%, 10%, right? Or what? 97. So if I look over here, let me add 9.7. So my answer should be quite close to this. So let's calculate this. How much I have over here? 5. 1 carry forward. So 205.7. So my answer should be nearest to the option number D out here. Let's come to the next problem. I am sure that you would love this method which I'm talking about. So of course, 97 into 98, we should love to multiply this. And if you have gone through my speed maths 1 session where I've talked about multiplication with the help of base method, it would be really convenient, right? So I'm taking the base as 100. So what is 98 short of -2, -3? 2 zeros. So 06 I'm going to look at. So 9506 is this number. Don't think of that the answer would be option C out here because it is not just 97 to 98. Now this is what? Around 50% of what? 98. So 50% of 98 would be what? Around 49. Correct? And this is what? 60% of 97. So 97 I can look forward as 100 minus 3 and we have to calculate 60% of this. 60% of 100 would have been what? 60 only. And 60% of 3, if I look over here, if I calculate that, so basically that would be nothing but 1.8. So can I say this would have been around 58 if I look at? So now let's add this and see what is the best possible answer. So of course, this should not be the answer when you look at adding all this stuff. 9 and 8 is what? 17 and 6 is what? 23. 3 over here, 2 carry forward. 2, 5 and 4. 9 plus 2, that is 11. So 1 carry forward. So 9613. My answer should be damn close to 9613, which is your option number A. So look, I did not use any expansion over here. 97 plus 0.51 bracket and multiplied with 98 plus 0.6. I'm just using a simple percentage trick out here. I just used that in the question number 1 because I wanted to explain to all of you. I hope you understood what is the 60% of 3. This 0.6, which is nothing but actually 60%. So 60% we have to calculate of this number. Let's come to the other question out here. Of course, 67 into 73, we should look forward to multiply. Now you remember one of the class I talked about this trick also. Both the numbers, the difference is what? Even, that is 6. Let me divide 6 by 2. What do I get? 3. So I can write this number as 70 minus 3 and 70 plus 3. So basically, if you follow the speed math videos, I'm sure that you can remember all these tricks, what I've done in my classes. So 70 square is what, 4900 minus 9 if I do is what, 4891. So my answer would definitely be above this. All the options are above this. Let's go further. If I look over here, this is what, 66%. Isn't it around two-thirds? That is 66.66. So can I calculate two-thirds of what? 73. So if I look over here, this there's nothing but around 24. 24 into 2 is what? 48. So let me add 48 to this. Correct. Now this what, 30% around? Of course it is 29. Let's calculate 30%. So 67, we have to calculate 30%. What is 10%? 6.7 into 3 can I do? So this would be coming out to be what if I look at around 20. So can I look forward to add around 20 over here? So my answer should be very close to this. So let's add this 9. 9 for 13 and 2 is what? 15. 1 carry forward. So answer should be very close to 4959. So if I look, all the options are far apart. This is the nearest one. I can mark this answer. Let's quickly come to the next one, the last one out here. So by now, I hope you understood my superb trick shortcut. So a lot of students may not be aware of this. Of course, we have to multiply this 29 into 36. So probably again, you can look forward to use the general method of multiplication also. But I told you, multiplying with friendly numbers also makes things a little easier, right? So 30 into 36 is easy. That would be what, 1080 minus 36 if I do would be what, 1044. So of course my answer would be more than this. All the options are above this. Now what is the next step we are going to do? 35% of what? 36. So 35% if I look approximately, because options are way far apart, I can calculate one third of 36. Why we are doing so? We are calculating 33.33. So this is nothing but coming out to be 12. So slightly more we have to add, but let's add just 12 over here because we have to get nearest out here. Now this is what, 45% of what, 29. So what we can look forward is, rather than calculating 45%, can we calculate 50% of 29? That would have been what, 14.5. Correct. 1 by 2 if I multiply with 29. Now if you want to subtract 5%, because 45 I can look forward to write as 50 minus 5. What is 10% of this? 2.9, that is around 3. So 5% would be half of that, that is 1.5. So let me subtract that. So my 45% would be nothing but around 13. So we got a very nearest answer now once we add this. So 4, 2 and 3 is how much on adding 9. This is what 6, this is what 1069. So the best possible answer out here is nothing but option B. So I hope you would have loved this trick shortcut, and of course you can look forward such kind of problems in the OMT especially, and especially in the DI part. So make sure that you keep following the CAT2IM channel by Manoj Mahajan, and I'm sure that you're going to like the video. You're going to comment also on the video. You would be sharing with the aspirants who are preparing for any aptitude test, and make sure that you do subscribe to my channel CAT2IM by Manoj Mahajan. I'm coming up with CAT 24 batch from 13th of December. If interested for CAT 24 course with me for Quant LRDI, please do call me at 9891565351. Not just an educator, but a mentor. You can go through for more description of my profile if you visit the channel and see the description stuff, right? Thank you so much.